Adelaide for me as well. 4 Adelaide Crows there. All right, let's have a look at the Port Adelaide v Sydney game. It is on Saturday night, 7:10pm at the Adelaide Oval. Jared Pollock has signed to the end of 2018. Sydney has won 10 of the last 11 over Port. Remember, Buddy turned one on late last year, Shorey, when they took him on. Let's have a look at Port.
Well, Redden in, Butcher out. Now, Johnny Butcher, he's a massive... you talk about disappointments. You just don't know what you get week in, week out with Johnny Butcher. I don't think he'll play a lot of football for them this year unless they have injuries. And that probably puts a bit of pressure on. I'm going to ask, as a panel, Justin Westhoff, is it time that Port Adelaide say, we are going to stabilise you in a position and that's how you're going to help us win a premiership? Is it time for that, or is he just a swing man that you've got to keep...
I would argue the other. I reckon I've never seen a bloke of his size and athleticism run as much as he does. I'd be using him wherever possible. I think probably he plays best between the 50s. Yep. I reckon he's a very good running player, but I like him up my sleeve to go forward to take a catch or to go back to donate to interfere with tools in the opposition front.
And I think he's the sort of player that loves to play with that freedom too. That he doesn't know where he's going to play from week to week, and if it's back, forward, midfield, on the wing, wherever it is, it almost releases his mind a little bit. I think
in the words of that movie, The Other Guys, he's a peacock. You've got to let him fly.
Oh, shit.
He needs to run. He does. I reckon
he's going to cinemas over summer, have you?
I'm just sitting in front of movies for all summertime.
Okay, I got the answer.
Yes, let's have a look at the Sydney team up on the board now. Hawley?
Yeah, the Swannies. Well, McVeigh, I spoke about him off the top of the show, how important he is to this side. Cunningham goes out of the side. Stiff for him, but what can you? It's a pretty strong outfit, the Sydney Swans. Look, it was a great fight back against Essendon, but I think we all expected Essendon to fall off the face of the map after half time. And look, I think after a grand final performance like they had the longest pre-season in history, and in the first quarter you cop a spray like this. I reckon they would have been really disappointed with the performance they put out.
The only thing, Baz, it took 2 quarters after that. They didn't have a lot of impact on them. Maybe 10 minutes before three-quarter time they should have scored, but they didn't. And that's when I reckon it turned, but it took a while to get in. And
why that's up there is because the grand final was the same thing. They copped a fair bit of a spray and there was no real reaction, which is un-Swans-like. It really is. So I'm not sure what's going on up there. They've got the players, they've got the cattle, they've got the culture. They need to respond in situations like that, though.
Well, good spray.
But again, I reckon it was more, I don't know you argue this, but it was more what Sydney did when it got to the stage where they needed to do something. I reckon it was about 10 minutes to go in the third quarter. I agree with you. Yeah. More than it was maybe the wheels coming off Essendon because of their lack of match preparation. Yeah. I know that's a real debate. I'd love to know the answer.
I think that was a cop-out in a certain way. It was there, but I think also Sydney... They just need to... They had played chocolate for 3 quarters. They just need to lift, and they did. And that's where it happened.
They're not all that good tight in, I reckon, on wet days. Some of the big losses they've had have been when they've been beaten up on the inside, and that used to be their strength. Just a little observation. Look at you raising your eyebrows.
I wanted the answer because I wasn't really sure.
Teddy Richards, 200 games. Well done.
It's been a great servant. Who are you going for?
I think Port over there.
I'm with Port.
Yeah, Port at Adelaide Oval.
Wow, we've got a clean sweep. Yeah, Port, we're going against...
the Swans.
Yeah, the Swannies. All right. Guys, get your records out there. Yeah, $5 a game. When you walk through the door of any ground this weekend, you can get your record there. We've got Josh Caddy on the front there. He's been very good since going to the Caddy, since going to the Cats. And Pritis, the Brownlow